is chastity a trait? Is being a virgin a trait?
Yeah, it's a virtue.
I mean, it's definitely the people that hold that with their life near and dear. I think waiting till marriage is absolutely a trait, and that's why if you wanted, that's something, not a trait. I think it's a value, not a trait. I think that's a value.
And a standard
Wait,
as well.
so hold on. So you're saying
Yes.
that the amount of sexual partners you've had, that is what?
Decisions and choices.
Wait, so I can't...
No, like if you choose to have sex with 100 women, that was your choice to make every single time. But if you're funny, like I don't think you can choose to be funny or not, or things of that nature. You can't choose to be taller.
What is someone's choice to do or not do something? What does that have to do with the argument?
Because you can have values. Those traits, if you want somebody who doesn't match your trait, that's different than not matching your values. If I say I'm funny or I'm not funny, I think I'm funny.
Hold on,
yes.
I have to interrupt you,
Yes,
Deborah.
hilarious.
Deborah, you said that you want a guy to make a minimum income of $200,000. That's a choice. He's taking specific actions.
Yeah. I think that's a choice that benefits himself, but I think making money,
Just so I understand the argument is men are not allowed to disqualify women based on women's choices.
No, it's not.
They can only disqualify based on traits.
No, I think you can totally disqualify on anything you want because it's your partner that you're looking for. But when it comes to just the body count alone, or not the body count, but a man who has had multiple sexual partners, why does he want a woman with less sexual partners? Is it because he values the fact that a woman is not promiscuous? Because that's different, and those are different values. If you yourself are, no offense to anybody here, but if you're filming OnlyFans and you're saying, I want somebody who's a religious, God-fearing Christian, those are choices that you're both making, but I don't think it's fair or normal to expect that. And so in the same way, it depends on the value behind it. I think having a high number of sexual partners corresponds with your values. And therefore, I don't think it's as simple as I want somebody taller than me or things like that. But when it comes to splitting the money,
So wait, let's help me categorize this.
Yes.
So promiscuity is not a trait. It's a value.
No, I think it can be being sexually promiscuous, I think can definitely be a trait that people have. There's also people that go through phases where like they might be celibate and then I don't know, or they like abstain from sex. I think if you have let's say you've had sex with 100 women, I think every single time, even when you got to 75, you chose to keep going. That's your individual choice to make.
Can I add something?
But something that's a immutable characteristic like your height, I think those are things that you didn't choose those. You were born like that. So if you want somebody who's taller than you, I think that's...
So your argument is it's better to reject people because of things that are out of their control versus things that are in their control?
No, the opposite. I think it's valid.
You said valid to not date a guy because of his height, not valid if a guy doesn't want to date a woman because she's slept with 100 men?
No, I was saying the exact opposite.
That's exactly what you're saying.
No, I was saying that if somebody wants somebody's height, things that they can't change, those aren't choices that you... Hold on, you confused me by saying that. I don't agree with that. I'm not saying that. I think that there's a major difference between somebody who has a high level of sexual partners, that situation, than there is between somebody being funny, tall,
Let me change it then. Fine, I'll move it off of immutable characteristics. So a man who... How about this? Would you disagree with me that there are plenty of broke women who would love to date a billionaire?
No, I don't disagree at all.
Okay.
And I think that's...
Okay, hold on.
Yes.
But is that hypocritical for the woman who's broke to find rich men attractive?
Not attractive, but to only want them because of the value of the financial value. I do think that's incredibly hypocritical.
That is hypocritical.
They've made poor financial choices their entire life, and then just expecting a man to take care of them because
they're lazy and they don't want to work, then that's not fair.
I don't think that would make them hypocritical.
Yeah, that's not... How's that hypocrisy?
Because a person who made poor financial choices their whole life and then is expecting somebody who made good financial choices, well, I don't know if hypocritical would be the right word, but I don't think that's valid. Like, I don't think it would be fair for somebody who was dirt broke living on the side of the street to think that they were a perfect...
Or they deserve somebody.
Okay,
or they deserve somebody.
You know?
So, but
like
hold
that,
on, Deborah.
of that status.
So I want a commitment from you tonight on the show, unless you're willing to just be a hypocrite. You are, from here on out, you're only allowed to date a man who makes the exact same amount of money as you. You can't go above, You can't go above. Otherwise, you're a hypocrite.
Why can't
Right,
I
that
go
would be-
above?
Hold on. You can't go above. Yeah,
Why?
because
Because if you go $10 above, right? Let's just say you only went $10 above. You're only going to date a man who made $10 more than you made, right? Then if we extend that out, what would actually be the problem with a poor woman, right, going after a rich man? There wouldn't be any problem, right? All you're doing is it's just a matter of degrees at that point.
would you date a billionaire?
Yes.
Would you date a billionaire?
Probably.
That's really hypocritical of you. You're not a billionaire.
You don't know what my bank account looks like. I'm not a billionaire, but I am
I'm a reverse
financially.
Say
Yeah,
you're not a billionaire.
I'm not a billionaire. I would love to be a billionaire, but I am, thank God, very financially literate.
I'm a hustler and I love to work,
Yeah,
so
I have cash in my
I
purse.
can expect
Can
that
I
from my
have
partner
some
as well,
tip?
right?
Yeah,
Can I have some cash?
I can do some charity
Yeah,
work.
go get some.
Is it nonprofit
I'm struggling.
deductible? What charity are you, Ryan?
Well, I'm going through some legal things, so if you want to
Help out.
help out.
Your big labia
go get your
matters.
purse.
Go get your
Go get your
You want,
purse.
he's saying he wants a sugar mama.
You brought me out
Right?
here
You want a
to
sugar
Mommy
mama?
fix it.
I brought you out
But
here to
over-
hustle you out of your money.
I think.
I mean, I've been a sugar mama to my
I think
boyfriend
that
before,
some-
so I can just expect the same thing back.
I think that somebody who makes certain choices in life, in a sense,
That's
it
a lot of
aligns with
fun.
their values,
I
and so.
want, get your cash, Deborah. Get
So,
your cash.
for somebody who makes
Yeah.
good financial decisions,
Do the money
of course,
spread.
I think they can learn from somebody who is even better or more successful than them in the same way where, let's say I have an aspiration, to be a comedian. My ex-boyfriend was actually a
Here, how
comedian.
about this?
Maybe he made me funnier, things like that.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Did you play any sports in school or anything?
did.
But did you ever play at the professional level or?
In college, no.
No. Well, I don't know if college is professional, but would you date a professional athlete?
I would.
It's a trick question because
It's not a trick question.
No, I
It's
think
testing your
professional
logic.
for the job title of it, like somebody was a professional athlete because
Right.
that's their passion. Yes, but I know that people in spotlights, athletes, things of that are in worlds where there's a lot of temptation. I don't think it's like dating a DJ to me. I don't think that would
He'll be
perfectly
loyal.
align with
He'll be
me.
loyal. He'll never.
It
cheat
wouldn't
on
be
you.
ideal for me. I would rather somebody a little bit more behind the scenes, or at least less in a major thing where they're flying across the world with their team and all that stuff. That's just a personal preference of mine. But like, I think it's important for my partner to be athletic. Or a better example for you, Brian, health. I am obsessed with working out, cold plunging, wellness, everything about that. Living a very healthy lifestyle. I would never marry somebody or even date somebody who did not value health. That is a huge, important value to me. And whether they were extremely overweight or just really unhealthy, that's a huge turnoff to me. And that's something that it's a choice, but it's also fair for me. I
guess the
think.
point I'm trying to make is that when it comes back to like this hypocrisy thing, so I don't think there's anything wrong with a man who has a high body count who wants to date a woman with a low body count or a virgin, simply because one, I think there's asymmetry between what men and women want, and then secondly, it's just, look, women all the time chase after men who possess a myriad of traits, behaviors. Perhaps they have they've accrued certain things in their life, whether material or otherwise, that they themselves do not possess. I don't think that makes women hypocrites. I don't think it makes men hypocrites when they do the same thing.
Yeah, and I think people get actually confused about what hypocrisy means. So hypocrisy is not saying I have no money but want to date a person with money. It's saying I have no money and want to date a person with money, but you who has no money should not try to date a person with money. That would be hypocrisy. So people get this really very skewed idea of what being hypocritical even is. It's I don't understand that either, but they seem to. So yeah, it's not hypocrisy to say I have a high body count, want a person with a low body count. It would be hypocrisy to say, but you as a person with a high body count should not want a person with a low body count. That would then be what would make it hypocrisy.
W. Any pushback?
By the way,
Well,
what
just
what
like
did
how
they teach
women- you guys
in
think
college?
women lose
What
value?
did they actually teach you guys in college? I'd like to know. Like what? What do they teach? What do they teach in college?
I'm just starting
You
college,
just
so
think
I
we're
couldn't
like a
say
group of
that.
women for him to put down. I don't like that.
I didn't put down women.
He
I put down colleges.
But he put down the
I'm
college.
just starting college
They
to
teach
get my
a lot of
BSN, so
stupid
I
shit
could
in
not say.
college.
But the girls who got their degrees, they can probably answer that question better.
Like,
Why is
do I
like
need
why
to
is like
learn
every
about
time
pronouns in
there's
college?
any pushback to anything, that means Andrew hates women? Like, just stop with the feminism.
You're
already.
such a hater, Andrew. Such a hater.
No,
Okay.
Andrew always says even if it was a man, he would say the same thing. But I don't see any men in these chairs.
But just how like you guys think
Well,
women lose value.
but you will often if
And
you go to
their body count,
whatever
men also
podcast
lose
and watch me
value.
debate them in the studio, which I do all the time.
I've actually never seen any of those videos.
You should go watch them. They're quite good.
I should actually.
You
Thanks.
should become a fan of the whatever
You think there's
podcast
more
I get.
successful people in college or more successful people that didn't go to college?
It's an even break, I think.
Okay. You disagree with adult age gap relationships. Example, a 30-year-old dating a 19-year-old. Callie, you disagree.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Amelia, disagree.
A 30-year-old dating a 19-year-old, yeah.
Emily, disagree with age gap. Tanya, you disagree with age gap relationships.
Any 30-year-old looking to have a relationship with a 19-year-old, that's just weird.
Why?
Because she's super young and you just want to take advantage of her, really, because she
Why?
has no life experiences to conduct herself in that relationship if you're doing something wrong to her. She just think it's normal.
Her
'cause
brain
she's that-
isn't done developing. Why do you want
Exactly.
her? That's weird.
She's like a little kid still.
You mean she's in a... Okay, so should 18-year-old women not be allowed to vote?
I mean, if they weren't allowed, then why is that a law? When you're 18, you're able to vote.
Well, why is it a law that the age of consent is 18? So they can have a
I mean,
consensual relationship. with-
30-year-olds have more experience, obviously, in the dating world than 19-year-olds. Like that, me, for example, when I did a 20-year-old, I shouldn't really when I was 17 because I didn't have life experiences or anything to like say,
Okay, we're
oh, this
talking
is
about-
wrong what he's doing to me.
Talking about adult relationships
Oh.
here.
Okay, well,
So-
that's what I'm saying. Like a 19-year-old wouldn't know how to be with an adult like that.
What do you
or-
mean?
I don't know. I feel like she'd be too young. She wouldn't know how to conduct herself, really.
You said take advantage of. I mean,
Like of her mindset because
you
she
don't-
doesn't know
you
yet.
don't think a 20-year-old could take advantage of another 20-year-old?
Yeah, I
Okay.
can.
Sorry to interrupt. It was great being on with all you guys. I have to leave. You knew I had a hard out. I stayed almost an hour
Wait, you
before
did?
this. I literally wrote you a note and I texted you about it before the show. I have a 2-hour plus drive back to LA alone in the dark. It was great being on with you. Follow me on Instagram, the Deborah Leia. Thanks, everybody.
It was beautiful having
Brian
you.
would never hurt a fly.
Never. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Deborah. Appreciate it. Thank you for coming. Have a good night.
Get home safely, love. It was nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you, Deborah. Have a good day.
All right. Yep. So anyways, so I guess what's your position kind of?
My position is it seems that man wants an apprentice. He doesn't want an equal or a partner.
Do women want equals to be equal?
Yes.
You just heard a table full of women saying they don't want to pay for first dates, they don't want to take any initiative, they don't
You
want
asked
Just
my
the first
opinion.
date.
Okay, sure.
After that, they can get 50-50 in the relationship. Like just the first. at
let's
the
hear from
beginning
the
of
other
the
people.
date.
Emily, what's your objection to age gap relationships?
Did I put like a little swivel on that one?
Maybe you
I think-
underlined it. I mean,
Yeah, I think just like within reasonable range.
okay,
like, it
30
makes
to
sense.
19.
Yeah, no,
That's not
I think
reasonable.
like too much of a discrepancy in maturity level makes that an issue. But there are some really mature like 20-year-olds. You know, people are mothers at that young age. They've experienced different levels of life than maybe
Mm-hmm. Sure.
another 20-year-old. So it
Okay.
just depends on.
Does it give you the
maturity.
ick?
A little. It depends on how they met, I guess. If it's kind of like it seems like they're preying or grooming them, then yeah, that's a problem. But
In what way would they be praying? Like, what does that mean to pray?
like, oh, waiting until they turn 18 or 19 or a reasonable.
Let's assume they
age.
met when this woman was already an adult. So there's not like
Yeah, if
any
it's
of that going on.
genuine connection, genuine experience, getting to know each other, then yeah, sure.
Okay, and then you disagreed. Why do you
Yeah,
disagree
I mean,
on
I
this?
was with someone that was 12 years older for 9 years, but yeah, to each their own. Like Jay-Z, Beyonce are 12 years apart. It works sometimes now.
Do you
it's
want to just scoot into the table maybe permanently
just-
so you can be on the microphone? And
Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
have
I'm
to
not-
remind you for the 30th time, but okay.
Yeah, 19
Sassy
I think is a little
Metapocalypse.
young for someone being 30 something.
Okay, all right. It gives you the ick?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Can you guys actually make a compelling argument why it's wrong?
I did.
I mean, I think because her brain isn't done developing.
Yeah.
I think obviously he's choosing someone who's a lot younger and more inexperienced and has also just come out of high school. So, ew. Like, you as a 30-year-old man, why are you dating someone who just came out of a high school? Like, is that,
You can't get better, like.
well, I mean,
better,
you
but-
don't want someone who's going to challenge you. You don't
Can't
want
get
someone
better.
who.
What would be better?
No, I don't want.
it's
I
like-
don't want somebody to challenge.
Just
me. That
mature,
sounds awful.
like.
Mature?
Yeah, just
You
more
think?
mature.
What do you mean more mature?
Mentally more mature. Once you want to date, if you're 30 years old, why won't you date a woman that's actually like mentally mature than a girl that's 19, not a woman who is unmentally immature?
Well, she is.
I met some 19-year-olds
is.
who are pretty damn mentally mature.
I mean, well, I'm going to like my situation. When I was 17. I wasn't mature yet, and I let him take full advantage of me. So, and I thought it was perfectly fine.
How old
'cause
was he when
20.
when you met?
Yeah, he was 20 and I was 17. 2 months before I turned 18. And
Yeah, but I mean, if he was 18,
Wait, it was 2
and
months
then-
before you turned.
18
How long did you date him?
since 2018, and I broke up with him this year.
What? Wait, oh, this is the.
Yeah, the same guy.
6-year
I've only
guy?
been in 1 year, like not 1 year. I've been in one serious
So
relationship.
wait, 2 months into the relationship, you were 18, and then he was still 20.
That's not much of an age gap.
No, it's not. But
I don't
he
know
was
what the
he was
laws
more
are in
mature though than I
California.
was, obviously, because he had been through more relationships, and I haven't. So
Would it be that weird though for an 18-year-old to be dating a 20? I don't
No,
think
it's not.
that's weird.
Or a 22
No, it's
or a
not.
21-year-old in this case. So it was like 18 to 21.
I'm not
That's
saying
like-
that the man was more
that's
mature than
that's
I
almost
was.
It's in a
non-existent.
5-year
I don't even
range.
think we would consider that an
Fine.
age gap.
Yeah. Well,
I think
An age
it's
gap
like-
relationship.
I'm just talking about
5 years
maturity
is fine.
levels.
10 years is like.
Yeah, 10 years is a little bit too much. 5 years is fine. I'm saying I was immature at 17, so I can imagine like a 19-year-old not being that mature for, compared to a 30-year-old. Does that make sense, or am I wrong? Or you think a 19-year-old has the same maturity levels as a 30-year-old man?
Well, I'm not sure that people are looking for relationships based around the various maturity levels. Like, I think that people have piqued very different interests, and I see men who are 30 with very immature women who are 35, and I see women who are 30 with very immature
Okay,
men
well, it could work both
who are
ways.
25, right? So the thing is like, I'm not sure that you can just say, well, you're an adult, and because of this, we're just going to make this kind of like bracket where even though you're an adult, we're just going to assume that you're too stupid to make the decision as to who you want to date. That just kind of seems absurd to me.
Would you be okay if it was your daughter? One of them?
Would you be so I wouldn't be okay with my daughter dating anybody ever, and no father ever is. So it doesn't really matter if there was an age gap or not. All fathers hate all boys who date their daughters. So I'm not really sure how that's particularly relatable. I wouldn't care if she was with or dating a guy 20 years older. I would hate him, or if she was dating a guy who was around her same age, I would hate that guy too. So
Fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah.